Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Global Pulse TV. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Today, we're diving into one of the most impactful wars of the 21st century, the Russia-Ukraine war. A war that has changed geopolitics, reshaped global alliances, and shown the world the true cost of power and freedom. The roots of the Russia-Ukraine war go far beyond 2022. It all started decades ago, after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. When the USSR fell apart, Ukraine became an independent nation, but Russia never truly accepted losing control over it. Ukraine has always been strategically important. It's rich in resources, has access to the Black Sea, and sits right between Europe and Russia. For years, Ukraine has been torn between two directions, one towards Europe and the West and the other towards Russia. In 2014, tensions exploded when protests in Kiev, known as the Euromaidan movement, forced Ukraine's pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych, to flee the country. Soon after, Russia invaded and annexed Crimea, claiming it as part of Russia. That move was condemned globally, but Russia didn't stop there. It also supported separatist groups in eastern Ukraine in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, starting a conflict that never really ended. On February 24, 2022, the world woke up to shocking news. Russia had launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Missiles struck cities across the country: Kiev, Kharkiv, Mariupol, and more. Russian President Vladimir Putin called it a special military operation to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. But the truth was clear: this was a war to take control of Ukraine and bring it back under Russian influence. The invasion triggered massive destruction and one of the largest refugee crises in Europe since World War II. Millions of Ukrainians fled their homes. Cities like Mariupol were reduced to rubble. Yet, the Ukrainian people, led by President Volodymyr Zelensky, refused to give up. Their resistance, brave, emotional, and united, became a symbol of freedom around the world. The invasion shocked the world and reshaped international politics overnight. Western countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, and members of the European Union, came together to support Ukraine. They imposed heavy economic sanctions on Russia, cutting it off from global trade and banking systems. Billions of dollars in military aid, weapons, and humanitarian support began flowing to Kiev. Meanwhile, NATO countries increased their military presence in Eastern Europe, fearing that Russia might attack other nations next. But despite Russia's massive military power, Ukrainian forces managed to defend key territories and even push Russian troops back in some areas. The war also had a dramatic effect on global energy and food supplies. Russia is one of the largest exporters of oil and gas, while Ukraine is a major producer of grain. The conflict disrupted these exports, leading to rising prices around the world from Europe to Africa and Asia. Behind every political headline lies a human story, and this war has countless tragedies. Thousands of civilians have lost their lives, entire towns have been wiped out, families have been separated, children have lost parents, and millions are living as refugees in foreign lands. The images of bombed schools, destroyed hospitals, and mass graves in cities like Bucha and Mariupol shocked the entire world. War crimes investigations are ongoing, and both sides accuse each other of atrocities. But for the people of Ukraine, the suffering is unimaginable, yet their spirit remains unbroken. President Zelensky's daily video messages from Kiev refusing to flee became symbols of courage. He said, "I'm here. We are not laying down any arms. We will defend our country." Inside Russia, things are not simple either. The war has deeply divided the nation. Thousands of Russians who opposed the invasion have been jailed or silenced. Many fled the country to escape political repression or conscription. The Russian economy has suffered under sanctions, but Putin's government continues to control the narrative, calling the war a fight against Western aggression. Meanwhile, Russian soldiers face heavy casualties and morale remains uncertain. In 2023 and 2024, Ukraine launched several counteroffensives with Western weapons like HIMARS and Leopard tanks. They regained parts of Kherson and pushed back Russian lines in the east. But the war remains fierce and bloody. Neither side seems ready to give up, and peace talks have repeatedly failed. The front line stretches for over 1,000 kilometers, and every inch of land comes at a devastating cost. More than 2 years later, the Russia-Ukraine war continues not just on the battlefield, but in the hearts and minds of millions. It's a war about territory, yes, but also about identity, independence, and survival. This conflict has redrawn global alliances, forced Europe to rethink its defense, and reminded humanity that peace is fragile. No matter who wins militarily, the real loss is human, the innocent people who pay the price for the ambitions of powerful. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, what do you think will finally end this war? Will there ever be real peace between Ukraine and Russia?